OKCJug, and Ryan's going to talk about encapsulation. Hello job. So sign in if you haven't. Get you a ticket for the drawings. We got 3 things to give away tonight. 2.5. Okay. I'll turn it over to Ryan.
Me? Hi.
Hi.
Well, it turns out I was trying to talk about a broader subject, and the words are commonly mistaken by people, commonly mixed up, and so I had to do some reading. I really want to talk about a few different related design principles for programming, specifically to Java. I have some notes, and part of the notes is this quote here that I'm just going to read out loud to you guys. The best code is very shy. Like a 4-year-old hiding behind a mother's skirt, code shouldn't reveal too much of itself, and it shouldn't be too nosy into others' affairs. But you might find that your shy code grows up too fast, shedding its demure shyness in favor of wild promiscuity. When code isn't shy, you'll get unwanted coupling. So that comes from the Pragmatic Programmers on one of their articles on their website. What's that for? Oh, shut up. See what that does. Look at that. See, that's what I was reading right here. So, I'm not sure if you guys can read this. I'm going to make it a little bigger. This is a code example from Dave Estells. I think it was Dave Estells who first turned me on to this idea for talking to the Jug about it. So I'm just going to show his code example to start with. Because you usually see something like this. You see it all the time on projects where you have some array of things coming from something else that gives it to you. And then you loop over this array of things. And if one of the things has a name that you're looking for, you delete it. And you return the value of that right there. This illustrates a lot of the, I guess I thought it was problems with encapsulation, but there's more than just encapsulation to it. There's not a lot of information hiding. This is very promiscuous code we're looking at here. And so one of the things you can change is you can ask the thing, instead of comparing the name to the name you were given, you can just ask the thing if it's named that. And so that's one thing to do. What we're solving there is we're not looking inside this object and examining the data it's holding and comparing it to something. We're instead just asking it a question. An analogy I saw on the web when I was looking into this is I liked a lot. It's when you want to borrow $5 from me, you don't pull my wallet out of my pocket and open it up and leaf through and count out $5 out of my wallet and take it out of my wallet and put it in your pocket and then put it in, give me my wallet back to my pocket. Instead, you just say, hey, Ryan, can I borrow $5? And I have the choice to throw an exception. Or I can go ahead and figure out where my $5 is, and I'll even keep track of the IOU for you. So that's an example of what we're solving here. We're telling the thing, hey, are you named this? And so that's one little piece of encapsulation that we got here. But look down at the bottom here. Instead of all of this looping around and looking at collections, we could just ask Thing Manager, which gave us the thing in the first place, the list of them. Just delete the thing named this and tell me what happened. So let me scroll down a little bit and bring up sort of the conclusion of this little blog post here. Yeah, in the above example, all the things we did where we were not encapsulated or we weren't hiding any information. We asked the Thing Manager for its list of things. We iterated through those things, asked every one of them for its name. We checked if the name was what we were looking for, and if it was, we asked the Thing Manager to delete it. Instead, later at the end here, we just said, I like this pointer. We just said the proper approach, we just said delete a thing named this if you have one, and let me know what happened. So that also makes the code more readable, and it isolates changes from things that don't change. So that brings me to a couple of the concepts I want to get at here, which is that we want to separate interface from implementation. We want to write code that exposes a certain interface and says, here's what I do, and then it does it however it wants to. And our clients don't care how that works. We want to combine state and behavior, put the behavior with the state that it goes with. So for example, thing that is named blah, blah, blah. You're putting the behavior of checking the name on the thing that holds the name. And behavioral completeness was something somebody wrote. I don't know if I like the words there, but it basically means cohesion at a very fine grained level. We want to say We want to make a class that does everything it's supposed to do and nothing more, so that our clients don't start using that unintended interface. Let me pull up something else. Well, I've got an article I'm going to put on the wiki. I'm not going to bring that up right now. It takes forever. Let's just look at an example here. Let's work through this together. How's the font? That font needs to get bigger. Anyone know? Editor. Here.
It's, I think it's, they moved it to general.
General.
Appearance. Colors and fonts.
Well,
Just up the basic font. Theoretically.
Text font all the way to the bottom.
it doesn't get them all. Oh, well. We'll just make that bigger so you guys can read.
I think it does change all of them.
Okay.
I mean, it doesn't change the menus and stuff.
Change.
That's fine.
Just like change. I wonder if it came up over somewhere else.
Wait, it's not able to be clicked anymore. That's not weird.
Where did it go?
I bet it popped up somewhere.
Wow. That's great. Cancel. Cancel.
Try F11. It's there somewhere.
Sold.
No? Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks to Clips.
Where did I break? Oh, goody.
Yeah.
Where I got stuck.
I was playing close one of that time, I guess.
Looked like it's on either desk like either. All right, let's just fill the clips and start over. All right, I really, fine. Boom. Front. See how close we got. Anyway, what I put together was an example of, oh, of course it doesn't build. I put together a tiny little project where we, and of course my favorite example is this jug. And so I made some domain objects of a meeting and a member and a prize utility to award prizes. So here's the unit test for that prize utility. And before we go and make this award prize method, which hasn't been written yet, let's take a look at our objects we're working with. I guess the assert tells us what we're trying to do is make sure the member's loot equals the meeting prize after award prize is called. So let's look at a meeting. It's just got some state in it. It's just got a date and 3 strings, meeting date, presenter, topic, and prize. Member, just got a name and a loot right now. These are just fields. So let's write the award prize method. I guess this won't work yet. There's what's the assert tell us to do? Tells us to just make sure the member's loot equals the meeting prize. So in order for prize utility to work, we need to say, all right, member, set your loot to the meeting prize. Hello. I don't know where all my shortcuts are. There. And save it. Let's run our test. And it's green now. So, I guess if anyone have any ideas about how we might separate interface from implementation a little bit here? I mean, what we've got here is this utility class, prize utility, that looks at the member, sets a piece of data on the member to a piece of data, and then it looks at the meeting and takes a piece of data off the meeting, moves it from here to there. So it's like we've got a utility class going into Eric's wallet, taking out $5 and going into my wallet and putting it in there for me. So how can we make this a little more civil? We can start with setters. Yeah. Let's put a setter on member loop. That's good stuff. So what we're going to do now is refactor. We've got a green test, so we can safely, we think, we can safely refactor and make sure our code still works. So let's put a setter on here. How do we do it? No. There. Again, wrong. Generate getter and setter. I'm just going to go the bare minimum here. Just set loop string. And then I will make this loop field private because we're going to protect it from people in the outside world.
Kind of.
Well,
They're still set.
unless they're real. Well, yeah, but now we're in control. You're right. They're still a setter now, but if our client's called the set loop method, and we don't want it to actually change this little loop string inside of it, then we're going to be able to make it do something else, like throw an exception, or let's say we wanted to make sure that they're not setting it to null or an empty string. We can do that to the setter now, where we couldn't have done that when they were setting it to our private field. So let's see what happened to our test. It doesn't build anymore. Why not? This is an example of why code can be brittle when we aren't, when we don't have shy code. It's private, so we can't get to it. So we have to now change this to a setter here. All right. Save it, run our test. We should still be green. Uh-oh. Doesn't like that. Oh. This test wants to look into the member's wallet and see what his loot is. So I guess we should ask the member what he's got instead of looking ourselves. So let's do that by making a getter on this loop thing. I'm just using my tool. We could have written this ourselves, but Eclipse has got some nifty little convenience utilities for us that generates code. So now we've got a getter here, and we can fix our test so that it's asking the member what kind of loot he's got. Like that, run our test. And we're green. So what's next? What's another slight improvement we can make so we're not I mean, in this case, we're being very intimate with the meeting, I suppose. Probably a little overly intimate. Got some unwanted coupling going on. So why don't we ask the meeting what its prize is here? And actually, it looks like this also only reads the prize, so we probably only need a getter for that, and not a setter on the meeting. Let's take this prize. Let's keep it secret. Put some protection methods on there. Just generate a getter and not a setter. There's no reason to let anybody set the prize for the meeting if they want. Is there? Yeah, there is. Right here. Let's set it. So I'm going to have a setter as well. Here we are. And now we should stop looking in the meetings wallet, if that makes any sense. The analogy is getting a little bad. And that. And let's run some tests. Tests run very quickly, so we can run them a lot, which gives us the ability to have more confidence in changes to our code. So now what we've got is this prize utility, which goes to the member, tells the member here, you need to, would you take this loop, please? And then it goes to the meeting and says, hey, what's your prize? And it does the transfer for us. But one thing we can do a little better, I suppose, is to try to move behavior and state together, which to me might mean to remove this prize utility class at all. So maybe either the member can go get a prize from the meeting, or the meeting can award the prize to the member itself. We can move this award prize method off of this prize utility at all. Get rid of the prize utility. We don't need it. In fact, it probably is more cohesive if we put the logic that awards the prize close to the prize. So that's the same data. So why don't we try moving the method? I wonder if I can do this. Move method. So I'm going to use a move method refactoring built into Eclipse to move it to the meeting class. Parameter name. This is parameter utility. I'm afraid it's going to keep the prize utility around. I'm going to figure that out. So it's going to make us a method over here on the meeting class. There's a award prize to a member. And that says, hey member, set your loop to this prize. It's going to do the prize utility. That will become empty. Prize utility test is now really more of a member test. Let's flip that happen. And look, we can get rid of this prize utility now. And this, don't need that anymore. Rename the whole thing to member test, or meeting test, sorry. So now what we've got is a meeting that can award a prize to a member. And we've moved some of the behavior close to the data it changes. I guess this wasn't as, so far it's not as compelling an example as the first one where we moved all that code into the thing manager or whatever. But well, I can see some more improvements to this code because that might expose some more opportunities to encapsulate. For example, the member name is a string. It's got, looks like a first name, a space, and a last name. Well, what if we wanted to have a meeting list of members and sort them by last name? That would be kind of hard to do. It would be much easier if the name was separated into first and last name. And that wouldn't be too hard if we had two fields on the member named first name and last name. And we could continue to have a name field on the member, or a name property on the member. That was the combination of the two with a space in between. So that's an example of somewhere where a getter on member name might be nice, because you would not, anybody using get name would still be able to keep using get name, even if we completely got rid of the implementation of name as a single string and made it two strings that get combined with a space in it. So there's something else we could change. Wonder if we might be, if we wanted to have award prize be smarter and only give prizes to members who haven't got them yet. Well, actually, I think we're ready to do that now. We've got to get loot on there. Well, no, we might want to have a member that has prize if we want to do. Why don't we do that? Let's try it. Test for that. the last name? He's the greedy one. So that's not going to work, is it? Well, string doesn't have a get loop method. And then we set prize dollars. Award prize. Fail. Happen. Some kind of better message than that would be good. Catch. Remember exception.
Suck with gold.
Huh? Gulp or Here we are. So we need an exception class. Let's make that. Oh, we don't want it there. Here. There. Right here. Ooh, I figured out I wanted an exception. That's nice.
It's the only kind of thing you can catch.
Yeah.
I guess you can catch any throw.
Well, I'm going to put a whole lot of behavior in here. If I really don't like all those R0s and R1s. This comes something about. So what's the serial version of Thanks. So, why doesn't that understand?
So the warning's turned all the way up.
Unreachable cash block.
Yeah, the award prize is.
All right, we'll go make that work. So this should throw one, right? I have it doing something else, so I didn't fix that before I got here.
Yeah.
No, does that build yet? Oh, look at that. Now I need to throw some stuff. Because now we're throwing the exception other places. But that's going to be an error, so I'm just going to add that to my test declaration. So then now it'll show up as an error if that happens at the wrong time. So, looks like we've got a test that compiles. Let's run it and see what happens. Uh-oh. Yeah, that should not have happened, right? That was a very bad message. Members.
Better hurry.
Greedy members should not be able to get 2 prizes. There we go.
You
I got hit by the spammers. All right. What did you say?
Award prize is actually throw the exception.
Yeah, it does. But it doesn't actually throw it ever.
It just says that it can't throw it. It doesn't really throw it.
So let's make it throw something. So how will we need to know if it throws? Right now, the way we'll be able to find out is to say if member dot or if null is member dot get loot throw new greedy exception.
I guess you want to know, is it up to the meeting to keep the member honest, or is it up to the member to be honest? Because you could call set loop, and it knows if it's null or not. I guess it just kind of depends.
That's a good question. It's a design question. So whose responsibility? Because that's another thing that encapsulation drives us to, is to start thinking about the responsibilities of our classes. So whose responsibility is it to be honest? Is it the meeting's job? Is it Brian's job when he hands the prizes out to give one and one only to people? Or is it your job to say, hey, I already won something today? Both. Hey, that's not bad.
I'd say member.
Member. Well, let's make
Brian's
a
job
member.
would be to determine who had whose ticket was drawn, and not what their state was.
I just don't like to put things like that in business operating objects.
You don't like putting logic in setters?
Then why even have setters? Why not just make the member
Yeah.
public if that's all you're ever going to do?
Right. If you think it doesn't have to be a setter. That gives us some Java bean nice
Okay.
things. But we could have made it a member not award prize method if you want. And that award prize method could throw a. So why don't we ask the member if he already has the prize? Well, why don't we get our test passage? What little crunch?
You could still make it the responsibility of the meeting without having to look at the members.
My logic was bad. Which is part of the problem with me looking into the internals of my objects is now I have to know how they work on the inside. But yeah, what were you saying, Derek?
Well, I mean, it would be a lot more complicated. The meeting would have to have a list of people who have already got prizes.
If it was going to keep track of state itself.
And that way, it wouldn't have to ask the member.
Right, because you're still trusting the member to be honest when you ask him.
So which way is simpler code?
Asking a member is probably simpler. Probably, definitely.
Well, we've got a passing test, so we can. But I think the big smell is this line right there. We're looking at the members to see if it's null. So why don't we just start with making the members. What's a good name for that? Deserves prize or remember that is poor.
Is prize awardable?
Prize awardable. That's very stuffy of you, Brandon.
That sounds like an interface.
All right, let's
That sounds like that you're putting some responsibility on the prize. When you put it that way.
Member
Except that it's on the member.
Member dot has one yet maybe or something. Member dot
Needs to win.
needs to win. Needs to win. That's good.
How about has
Has loop will work. That fits our current naming convention. It's not quite as stuffy as Brandon's name.
But what if you check something else besides him having loot to determine that it doesn't?
That's true. Maybe something to do with the word eligible.
Right.
That separates the concepts a little bit.
like is eligible?
Is eligible. I think of that. I'm going to.
Member present.
Well, we're going to have to build that business logic in. The attendance logic. We started to do that at the last meeting, I think, with the roster.
If you do a couple more of these, and you'll have a working membership.
Except I start over every
Please
time.
sign into meeting.java.
So I'm extracting the method.
We have 2-hour iterations.
Is eligible. Which was spelled wrong. Later be public.
You want to run this in an agile process?
I would like it to be on the member.
Extract it first
I don't
and then
think-
move it.
Oh,
Let's just start here and move
we
the
have
method.
2-hour iterations.
Not rename. Move. That's a V, of course it's a V. Alright. So is eligible. Okay. Oh. I don't care about visibility at the moment. So now we're saying if member is eligible, well that's wrong. Throw a new greedy member. So I want to say if not member is eligible, go fix it. Is eligible should have this. Okay. So what's right? See if that still works. I can't even find the button. All right. Now we've got a member who's eligible, who's being trusted to be honest and say I'm eligible at the moment. So we're still not enforcing the way Eric said. We have to keep track of who's got what prizes. Now the award prize method is starting to look a little more small because my screen is tiny. I'd like to also also do the one we ran across in that meandering conversation a few minutes ago, and stop setting the members loop and instead award them a prize. Because what if you want to give the prize to someone else or something? Who knows what? Award prize is more of a general concept than actually giving the member something. So let's go to the member and do that. Everybody eat. That's what I'll write this message. Everybody eat.
Okay, never mind you guys. I'm gonna get something to eat.
Kenyatta.
Hey. Sorry. Packing and playing tic-tac-toe all the past 2 days.